Good evening. We'd like to call this meeting to order, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 12, 2024. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards in the Township website.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Ponderero. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Feinman.
Here.
Councilwoman Travers.
Here.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Here.
President Menachino.
Here.
Thank you.
Can we all rise for a salute the flag, please, and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from February 27th meeting, please?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. So we have a presentation. I'd like the mayor to come up, please.
That's all right. I'll take it afterwards.
Oh. No, roll call for the minutes. Sorry, Lynette.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
And yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome the Brick Memorial soccer team that we're celebrating and honoring tonight. Thank you so much. And I'd like to ask, just for the moment, if we could have the coach, the head coach, and then the assistant coaches come up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So we will call the team up shortly, but I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate everyone. My understanding is this is the hardest working team at the shore, correct? That's the rumor. It's more of a rumor. It's more than a rumor now, right? So we have some proclamations here that I'd like to share with you, and congratulations on all of your hard work. Brick Township Memorial High School has a tradition of success and championships in their various athletic programs. One such program is the Mustangs Girls Soccer Team. This past fall, the Mustangs Girls Soccer Team had a remarkable season, accumulating a record of 15 wins, 5 losses, and a tie, while consistently demonstrating outstanding skill and teamwork and exemplary sportsmanship. The Mustangs Girls Soccer Team captured the 7th sectional championship in their school's storied history by beating the top-seeded team from Middletown High School South in the championship game. The members of the state champion Mustangs Girls Soccer Team are Vic Coyotes, Giselle Lizardi, Lexi Caruso, Emily Cranston, Michaela Donahue, Chloe Galisi, Kylie McCullough, Ashley Schlagenhaft, Skylar Schlagenhaft, Maggie Allen, Michaela Siciliano, Reese Keene, Mia Caruso, Gabby Hernandez, Lila Hopkins, Brooke DeAlmeida, Jordan McCullough, and Sydney Mahalko. The Mustangs were most ably led by this season's head coach, Billy Caruso, assistant coaches John Pirani, Stephanie Batalla, Crystal Batters, Jess Fusello, Rich Kajak, Patricia Schlagenhaft, and Gunther Ulbrich. Therefore, I, Lisa Crate, Mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean in the state of New Jersey, in honor of their outstanding season, during which they captured the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 State Championship, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, March 13th, 2024, to be Brick Memorial High School Girls Soccer Team Day, and I invite the rest of the township to celebrate along with us. So congratulations to all of you, and I hope that I didn't murder too many names on that one.
You got them all, except the call. Otherwise, you know.
So these are all yours.
Okay.
And what we'd like to do is have you bring the girls up. If
Okay.
you would like, we have certificates if you want to call them up one at a time
Sure.
so they can be recognized. And you are welcome to speak if you like.
Okay.
And then I think we have
Sure.
this. Okay.
Vic Coyotes. Giselle Lizardi. Emily Cranston. Chloe Jalisi. Chloe scored both goals in the championship game, too. Way to go, Chloe. Kylie McCullough. Ashley Schlagenhalf. Skylar Schlagenhalf. Mickey Siciliano. Reese Keene. Gabby Hernandez. Lila Hopkins. Brooke DeAlmeida. And Jordan McCullough. Sorry, Brooke. Did I not give it to her? Sorry.
So we're gonna do a group picture. Congratulations. We're gonna stand right in front of the event and organize your all call. Cool. Figured it out. Oh, so we're gonna move yeah. All right, let's see. Your coach is in the middle. With the mayor. With the mayor.
There you go, yeah, closer. Well, you're gonna have to, go closer.
Don't leave it flat. No, she's gonna flash.
You can come up here.
Apologies. You're right.
Did you guys come say anything? Oh, sorry. Sometimes I have to jump in.
Congratulations, ladies. Now's your time to escape if you want to, or you're going to sit through the whole movie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay, we have budget presentations this evening. First one will be EMS from Chief Riccio.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Established in 2006, the Brick Township Emergency Medical Services Division has been serving the residents of Brick Township for 18 years. Until recently, the EMS division was managed and under the direction of the police department. As of December 1st of 2023, the EMS division is operating independently, managed by a director who will report directly to the Township administration. The day-to-day operation will be managed by the EMS chief, an EMS deputy chief, and 2 EMS supervisors. The division is currently staffed with 49 employees. That includes 1 director, 28 full-time, and 20 part-time EMTs. The division operates 10 ambulances, 3 specialty units, and is currently housed at 2 locations, Lanes Mill Road and Civic Plaza. We are currently in the process of finishing the construction and renovation of 2 new locations, which, when completed, will allow us to strategically place our personnel in locations which will improve response times. The new locations are Aurora Place in the building shared with the Brick Seniors and the Special Operations Building at Town Hall. The EMS administrative offices, which are currently situated in Civic Plaza, will move to our new location in the Special Operations Building at Town Hall. In 2023, there were over 11,000 calls for service, the most the unit has ever handled in a calendar year. In addition to the variety of medical emergencies the division handles on a daily basis, a number of our EMS personnel are specially trained and act as tactical medics who train and respond with the police CERT team. Additionally, our EMS personnel provide services to the community, which include things like conducting child seat inspections and instruction in areas such as CPR, basic first aid, and the controlling of bleeding. Last year, we budgeted $2,414,973.17 for EMS salaries and $265,000 for overtime. This year, we are asking that $2,575,000 be budgeted for EMS salaries and that $225,000 be allocated for EMS overtime. In 2023, the EMS division spent $196,368 of the overtime budget, $68,631 less than what was budgeted. It should be noted that the scheduling of part-time personnel to fill openings on a shift is a policy we utilize to reduce overtime costs. The EMS operating budget was $320,100. Of that amount, $318,893.24 was expended, which is $1,206.76 less than what was budgeted. This year, we are asking that $331,550 be budgeted, which is an $11,450 increase. The majority of this increase is in anticipation of a rise in costs associated with medical supplies, expert services, and maintenance contracts. The cost to operate the EMS division in 2023 was $2,903,428.36, which included regular salaries, overtime, capital expenses, and operating expenses. In 2023, the EMS division generated income from a number of sources, which was used to offset those costs. Income sources included $2,139,281.15 in medical billing, $8,587.50 in extra duty assignments, and $4,042.68 from a child seat inspection grant, for a total of $2,151,911.33. That concludes my budget presentation for the EMS department. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the hardworking men and women of the Brick Township Emergency Services Department who render aid to our community around the clock 7 days a week. And of course, thank you to our mayor, members of our council, and the business administrator for your continued support. You are always ready and willing to provide the resources and equipment necessary to keep the EMS department fully functional and capable of providing our community with the absolute best emergency medical care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions for this gentleman for EMS presentation? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next presentation will be the Police Department from Chief David Forrester.
Good evening. The Department of Public Safety is comprised of several areas of responsibility. In addition to police services, the department is also responsible for the management of communication operators, also known as dispatchers, Class 1 special law enforcement officers, emergency management, crossing guards, and a number of community-oriented programs such as the Police Cadets, DARE program, Not Even Once program, Lead and Seed, CERT, that's our Community Emergency Response Team, Neighborhood Watch, as well as a number of other programs which are designed to bring our department and the community closer together. The department is currently staffed with 223 employees. That includes 141 sworn officers, 22 full-time and 3 part-time communication operators, 17 crossing guards, 18 Class 1 special police officers, 1 civilian deputy emergency management coordinator, 1 radio tech, 1 fleet maintenance worker, and 17 full-time and 5 part-time civilian staff in police records and administrative roles. Part-time staff members are used to support the full-time staff members as well as to reduce overtime costs. In 2023, there were 96,432 calls for service. This included 1,786 fire calls, 11,149 EMS calls. 2023 had 1,625 more calls than in 2022. And that's the most in the department's history. I am pleased with our 2023 operating results. During this first year as police chief, I worked with the department leaders to determine ways to better allocate our resources to keep costs down. We are a busy police department filled with employees dedicated to Brick Township. I will now go through the department's budget and highlight any significant changes. The first area we will discuss is the main police budget. The salaries of our civilian and administrative personnel are also included in this line item. This year, the regular salary requested is $22,420,000, and the overtime request is $1,150,000. In 2023, we budgeted for $21,458,770 for regular salaries and spent $20,741,118. For police overtime, we budgeted $1,250,000 and spent $1,015,885. In total, salaries and overtime were $951,767 under budget. Although I do not anticipate any significant increase in overtime spending this year, I need to plan for unforeseen situations. We have managed to remain under budget for 2023 and will look to continue that practice for years to come. The police supervision and command staff will continue to be conscientious of the need to reduce and keep overtime costs under budget. The police general operating budget includes uniforms, firearms equipment, training, accreditation, cadets, boat and bike equipment, and radio repair expenses. In 2023, we expended $256,000, $876,000. This year, we are asking for $315,150, an increase of $58,274 from what we spent last year due to price increases for ammunition, radio system and infrastructure, and service plans, bulletproof vests with outer carriers, and the addition of cameras placed throughout the town. The next area is Class 1 Special Law Enforcement Officers. We currently have 18 Class 1 Special Officers who perform year-round parking enforcement, traffic details, booking officers, municipal court security officers, and security for in-person township meetings such as the Board of Adjustment, Planning Board, and council meetings. In 2023, we allocated $300,000 in salaries and spent $280,187. In 2024, we are asking for $310,000. The overtime budgeted in 2023 was $10,000, of which we spent $8,298. In 2024, we will be allocating $10,000 for overtime. One other line item in the Class 1 Special Law Enforcement Officers budget is for uniforms and equipment. In 2023, we allocated $9,500 for uniforms and equipment. And in 2024, we are requesting $10,500 in anticipation of hiring additional officers, bringing us to a full complement of 25. The next area we will discuss is the communication operators, the dispatchers. In 2023, $1,714,000 was allocated for salaries, and we spent $1,470,301. This year, we are requesting $1,740,000 for salaries in anticipating of hiring additional dispatchers and allocating $260,000 for overtime. It should be noted that last year we expended $237,205 less in salaries and overtime costs than what was budgeted for. For operating expenses, which mainly covers training costs, we are asking for $6,100, which remains consistent with 2023. The next budget is emergency management. Last year, we budgeted $63,270 for OEM salaries. This year, we will be allocating $67,100. It should be noted that a portion of the salary is paid for by grant monies, which are received at different times throughout the year. We will be allocating $500 for the OEM overtime budget. The only other item in the OEM budget is for $500 for training, which will remain the same as in 2023. The next budget is police vehicles. These monies are used to replace aging vehicles which are used by the patrol division. In most cases, the older patrol vehicles, which are still serviceable, are repurposed in non-patrol units within the department. In 2023, we budgeted $399,750 and spent $397,031. For 2024, the requested amount is $425,750. A $26,000 increase from 2023 due to price increases of the vehicles and equipment, and then the installation of the equipment. That cost has also increased. Lastly, I will discuss crossing guards. Last year, we budgeted $490,000 in crossing guard salaries and $5,000 for overtime. In 2024, we were asking for $557,000 to be budgeted for salaries and $5,000 for overtime. It should be noted that during the summer months, there are approximately 30 seasonal crossing guards employed. For the operating budget, we are asking for $12,000 for uniforms and safety equipment, such as traffic vests, jackets, lighted batons, and cones. That concludes the budget presentation for the Brick Township Police Department. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the mayor, members of the council, the business administrator, for your continued support. Without your support, we wouldn't be one of the best departments in the nation. This administration has always made sure that we have the necessary resources to do our job. I would also like to thank the officers in my department who work hard each and every day to protect and provide outstanding service to our community.
Thank you, Chief. Is there any questions? Yes, Mr. Sloop.
John Sluga, 950 Sylvia Court. You're anticipating a what? A 5% increase in inflation rate or something? Is that what?
For what line?
For overall, approximately 5%? Is that what you're doing? I was just trying to use the numbers that you had.
Yep.
And it was about 5%. Maybe a little less than that.
Probably a little less.
So we're sort of expecting that kind of increase in next year on everything?
Yes.
Doesn't help us fixed income people, obviously, you know. Okay.
But like I said,
that's about the right amount.
Yeah, but I would say in 2023, we saved probably about 4.5%.
Yeah, you went under budget, I know that, but I was trying to say there seems to be an increase every year, which is normal. And I'm saying, geez, last year we anticipated close to 5% too, I think. And now we got another 5%. Are we going 5% every year? That's approximately 4%, 4.5%, 4.25%, whatever it happened to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, it sort of says the inflation rate for us seniors.
Yeah, and plus we also have our contracts that we're negotiating.
And they all have to go up.
All prices go up. They never go down year after year, right?
That's what, unfortunately. Yeah. Before I was a senior, I was glad of that. Now I'm a senior, I'm not so glad of that. You know? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
No papers. Vic Finelli, when I told my son what I was going to do tonight, he said, you better go easy on the EMS because they probably saved your life last year. So I'll heed his advice and say, thank you. Just one question. Several years ago, I noticed that the amount of calls going up, you have to respond to. We talk about in here doing some things to reduce the number of calls, like somebody has a bicycle stolen or their lawnmower or something. You don't go out to that house. You make them come in and fill out a report. Have we instituted those things? Are we doing anything else to reduce the amount of calls?
Well, that would still be considered a call, whether we go out to the location or they come in and report it.
Oh, yeah, it's
It would
not
still be-
broken out?
No, it would still be the same it would still be a call,
Okay.
and we would generate a case.
I would love to see the difference because, I mean, to me, having somebody come in and fill out a report is a lot less expensive than having an officer go out to the house with a patrol car and take a response.
That is true. I mean, but we would like to provide a service to the community that we can go out. We also wouldn't want to deter people from reporting it because not wanting to come in and report it. So we don't want to deter that. We want to make sure we're being notified.
You went up how many calls from last year? 1,600?
Yeah, approximately 1,600 calls.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, they're going to happen, yeah.
I would maybe just relook at that and see, maybe you can do something to reduce that amount of calls, because that just drives up the number of cars you need, drives up the number of officers you need. Just an idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything else you do.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. And I just want to give a different view than Vic Finelli gave. I am definitely glad for the EMS. They are the best. Well, I don't see any of the EMS from any other town, but they are the best. When my late husband, his birthday is coming up.
Ms.
He's
Cole.
St. Patrick, and
Ms.
he's
Cole, this is the police chief.
I know.
Well, do you have questions?
Excuse me, no, I want to talk about the police department
Do you have any
and
questions?
the EMS, and this is not listed as questions.
Yes.
It's listed as comment, and you don't answer questions. So
Ms.
please,
Cole.
show some respect for your elders.
I am.
No, you're not. No, you're not. If I don't feel the respect, you're not showing it.
Thank you. But he's here to answer questions on the police budget.
I
You
want
have-
to comment on the police budget.
And at the end, you can.
No,
This is for
no,
questions.
this is when the comments on the budget has time. And I have been a tax-paying resident legally of the Township of Brick since 2002. Sorry. I've been coming to the meeting since 2002, and I watched the meeting format change. And the council totally ignored the people of Brick. And there are many people who thank me for bringing to the attention of the township. So now, I want to thank them because when my late husband was alive, and on Saturday, I believe, March 17th, St. Patrick, my husband, he's the second one. He's in heaven for sure, and he was a good companion to St. Francis of Assisi. So now, that said, God bless you men, because you are doing God's work. The council certainly isn't. And I want to thank them for being there when a number of people called because they had seen me fall in the empty parking lot of St. Dominic's Church on July 2nd. And I don't remember, I took his name, but I don't remember the wonderful officer. I know I've seen him before, heard his name before, that came with the EMS vehicle and picked me up because I was flat on my back. And what I broke was what happens when old people fall, when anybody falls. You put your dominant arm out and think you're going to be able. There was nothing to grab onto. So I went down and had a complete break in my wrist. That is why I was advised to carry the cane at all times. So if you don't like hearing it, then you better resign your job there because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So thank you very much. And please don't follow Vic's recommendation. We need you. I can't tell you how many elderly citizens I know Because at one time, I could have told you the name of everybody who lived in a house in Greenbrier, too. And I know how many of them called. I know how many times my late husband saw a truck, a vehicle going to a home, and how many times he himself saw something happen with a neighbor and rushed to their aid. He was truly St. Patrick, and he had qualities of St. Francis of Assisi. He loved his animals. I'll talk about that at another time, not to the people who don't want to hear a word that the residents have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bob Matliano from Brick. On this budget year, you're talking possibly getting 25 new members? Is that what I understood?
No.
How many are we planning on, new?
Well, it depends. So like our special law enforcement officers right now, we're at 18. We want to get up to 25. So
What about on
that's
the regular?
part-time. They were like part-time. As far as our regular officers, we're at 141 and we would want to be at 146, that's our normal staffing. That wouldn't be an addition. We're a little bit low right now.
Right.
But we're
So,
at 141.
as the community's been growing, with more housing and stuff, and the way society is today, your job is absolutely harder now. Don't you think we should actually get more men on the, on the force, men and women?
We do, yeah, we do. We would like to get up to 150, gradually, but
Right.
You have to try to balance the whole budget and try to get dispatchers and other employees. So at this time, I feel like that we are adequately staffed. I feel that we can handle the calls that we get now.
I'm just feeling that, with this budget, maybe it should be a little bit more to get more younger people in here, working to help you guys because, I see what's going on. Everybody sees what's going on. We got more break-ins. You got more catalytic converters getting stolen. And, the guys are out there, but there's just not enough, and, I'm just thinking maybe the budget should be a little bit more for that to get the extra people in there to, put them on the force, get them in there.
I really do appreciate that. We have added officers to additional assignments. Instead of having more officers, just created more opportunity for officers to work during those hours.
Right. And what about, I know everybody doesn't carry a taser. Is there like part of that in that budget to, train the officers and get new tasers for, everybody instead of?
Yeah, we do have a number of tasers. We are training more officers each time. Like I said, it's a balance. We need other officers to be trained in different specialties also. Right. But right now, I feel that we are adequately equipped and staffed. But
yeah, I'm just trying to help you guys.
No, I know. Absolutely.
I would be a police officer when I was now forget about it. You know what I mean? Nobody. It's a tough job, and you guys. I feel you guys need more to lessen the load on the guys that are working because this is what causes officers to get stressed out and things happen. So I'm just feeling you guys need more to, lower it down.
I really appreciate it. But yeah, I do at this time feel that we are adequately staffed and we are getting additional resources to help combat some of the crime and some prevention methods that you're talking about in reference to the catalytic converters and the car thefts. Right. We are getting additional equipment and we do have additional details for our officers to work. But I do appreciate it, sir. I really do. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else from public, please? Seeing none, thank you. We have another budget presentation. Ms. Joanne Bergen for administration. Yeah. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to clarify one point. When I started 10 years ago, the roster for Brick Township Police Department was 134. We are now at 146. So the councils and councils before you have always allocated adding additional hires over the years as we can, because we have to make very sure that we're staying within the cap. So it's hard for us to go up a number more than 1 or 2 each year, but we have grown exponentially in the 10 years that I've been here, and we'll continue to do that because the mayor and council have always supported right-sizing our staff. So I just wanted to start with that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to give the budget for administration. So it's a long one, so anyone who wants to nod off, I won't be insulted, but there are lots and lots of departments under administration. It tends to go on a little bit, so I won't make eye contact. Fire away. So on behalf of all the department and division heads represented in this report, thanks to our mayor and members of the Township Council for your ongoing support. I will go through the division budgets that are included under administration. There are 11 budgets and hundreds of line items. I'll first start with administration. Administration staff includes 4 full-time employees. Administration is the front line for all in-person and telephone inquiries that come to the township. They also track and ensure follow-up on all email inquiries that come to the website. Staff handled 17,399 calls in 2022. Public relations, marketing, and special events are also handled by administration, including monitoring and updating of the township's website and social media sites, including Facebook and Twitter, preparation and dissemination of press releases, and oversight of the Brick Township's PEG channel, BTV. We have won several awards for our efforts to keep the public informed. Staff also manages the Buy and Brick program, which continues to grow and benefit our taxpayers. There was 706,545 Buy and Brick sales, which is dollars processed in 2023. Resident tax savings in 2023 was $41,746 with 56 participating businesses. Administration also manages constituent relations and publications such as advertisements, promotional materials, recycling brochures, event flyers, and any other publications as needed. Administration manages the design and creation of our recreation brochure and senior booklet, reducing the overall cost by bringing this work in-house. Administration staff also provides support to municipal boards and commissions. Our salary and wage budget decreased 9% due to staff transfer. Overtime increased by $10,000 as we have staff out on the weekends for Buy and Brick and township events. The operating budget increased 11% due to increased costs for the distribution of the township newsletter. Next budget I'll discuss is Mayor's Office and Council. The Office of the Mayor includes our mayor and 1 staff member. Mayor Crate is a full-time mayor and maintains office hours throughout the day and into the evening each week. Her active schedule includes regular meetings with groups and organizations within town, and she hosts many initiatives to engage the public, such as the tremendously popular Crate Conversations. The Mayor's Teen Advisory Committee continues to engage young adults in activities, and through Lounge 270, a place for teens to connect with peers and mentors in a safe, positive environment. She continues to meet regularly with the Senior Advisory Committee and readily accepts all invitations to speak at older adult communities, social service organizations, schools, businesses, and wherever she is invited. She promotes the town's interests and advocates for our needs on a state and federal level. Mayor's Office salary and wage budget increased 10% to accommodate staff salaries and overtime for evening and weekend events and activities. The operating budget increased by $5,000 as a request of the township's participation in a multi-municipality study to identify possible remedies to ongoing flooding issues in many low-lying areas throughout our town and neighboring municipalities. In terms of the council budget, the salary and wage budget remains flat. The operating budget for the council totals $1,700. The council budget includes items like conferences, flowers for special events, plaques and nameplates, letterhead, business cards, presentation folders, publications, and miscellaneous office supplies. Council members are very active in strategic planning and have working subcommittees, including recreation, land use, public works, public safety, and business and finance. They regularly attend community events and represent the township at a variety of events and activities. They meet twice monthly for council meeting and in 2023 adopted 441 resolutions and 22 ordinances. Next report is for the purchasing department. It's the responsibility of the Division of Purchasing and Contracting to conduct all purchasing, the acquisition of all goods and services in accordance with the applicable laws of the state of New Jersey, more specifically NJSA 40A-11-1, the local public contracts law. In 2023, this office processed 4,412 purchase orders, 31 bids for goods and services, 21 professional service requests for proposals, 10 capital bid projects, 1 competitive contract, 11 required disclosure resolutions, 23 purchases over the bid threshold, and 17 formal quotes. The above tasks were accomplished by an office staff of 3. This office also oversees the central receiving mailroom, which includes 1 additional staff member. The mail clerk processed approximately 57,000 pieces of mail, plus delivery of an approximately 11,000 pieces of mail to the post office for bulk mail projects such as tax delinquent notices. He delivers mail, packages, and supplies throughout the municipal complex and all off-site location and manages the central receiving and stockroom. Postage encompasses 92.5% of the operating budget. This line item includes postage for all departments and divisions' outgoing mail, property tax bills, homestead benefit adjusted bills for the second quarter, estimated third quarter final tax bills, added omitted assessment tax bills, delinquent notices that are mailed after each quarter, tax sale notices, post-tax year income statements that are mailed every January, Chapter 75, which are tax assessment notifications that are also mailed every January, the Township newsletter that's mailed to every resident in town. Beach badges are now sent via certified mail when requested by the purchaser, certified and registered mail, regular, priority, and overnight postage. Additional line items in the operating budget is $5,000 for conferences and education. All staff members are certified in the area of public procurement through Rutgers Educational Program, and 1 is also certified through the state as a qualified purchasing agent. These certifications are required to be maintained through continuing education by attending conferences and seminars. The $1,245 budgeted for dues includes membership for Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System, Government Purchasing Association of New Jersey, and the Southern Jersey chapter of the National Institute of Governmental Purchasing for every staff member. Additionally, the office added an individual membership for the National Institute of Government Purchasing as a trial for 2024, which provides access to recorded webinars free of charge. Memberships in these associations also provide discounted prices for seminars and conferences, as well as a resource for bid specifications and pertinent purchasing information. Another line item is storeroom supplies of $1,500. This office purchases and stocks frequently requested office materials and supplies requested by all departments. Items are purchased off the state, county, and Stafford Township cooperative pricing systems. On a quarterly basis, the purchases are totaled and charged back to each department's budget. The purchasing budget increased 5.4% as a result of postage increases. Human Resources next. The HR department manages all township employees, currently 421 full-time and 154 part-time seasonal. During the summer months, they coordinate all hiring and employee management for the approximately 150 additional seasonal employees. They create and institute HR policies and maintain compliance with state and federal laws. HR handles all employee training, including safety, the Employee Assistance Program, and other workplace trainings. All health benefits are handled by Human Resources. They coordinate with our brokers for contract proposals, renewals, rate changes, fee submissions, and compliance with federal guidelines. They handle required reporting as well as resolving claim issues. HR staff processes all liability claims with our insurance company. They ensure compliance with safety regulations and vendor insurance. Highlights and accomplishments from 2023 include continued development of UKG, which is our payroll and HR system, implementation of additional employee training programs, medical claim oversight, updated and distributed employee handbook and safety manual, developed an annual training schedule, and provided supervisor training. Projects for 2024 include continued adjustments to UKG, continued oversight of Horizon, providing specialized supervisor training, and developing a new employee orientation and updating the employee handbook. Human Resources had a 5.6% decrease in its operating budget as expenses for expert services continued to decline. The next department for discussion is the Office of the Township Clerk. The Township Clerk's office is comprised of 5 full-time staff members. The Township Clerk and Assistant Township Clerk hold registered municipal clerk certifications. Every staff member is a notary public, and 1 is fluent in English and Spanish. The office also includes a secretary for the council and mayor. The Division of Archives also falls under the clerk. The Township Clerk's office issued almost 2,000 licenses, permits, and services in 2023, totaling $196,381.07, and 1,318 dog and cat licenses, totaling $25,215.
The Office of Vital Statistics, which includes all records of births, deaths, and marriages, issued almost 5,000 certificates and 503 marriage applications totaling $45,854. Additionally, they collected $14,664 in tourism fees, processed 1,715 OPA requests, almost 200 landlord registrations, 91 do not knock registrations, notarized numerous documents each week, and handled almost 11,000 phone calls. The office organizes and works annual events such as elections and the rabies clinic, where 170 animals were vaccinated for free in 2023. The Ocean County Health Department supplies the vaccines for the clinic each year. In 2023, the office was successful in moving toward more online submission forms and digitizing permits and licenses. The Division of Archives, which manages and preserves township records, has a staff of 2 full-time employees, an archivist who holds state and federal records management certification, 1 full-time and 1 part-time clerk. In 2023, the Archives Division scanned over 411,000 pages for a total of 1,195,780 files in 26 databases. Whew. To date, Archives has scanned over 2.7 million pages of documents, including scanning work performed by outside vendors in the past. The Alchemy system has an estimated 9 million pages of digital images for a total of 4.6 terabytes of data. They also received authorization and destroyed 198 cubic feet of documentation and received 221 boxes from various departments. For 2024, they will continue with digital imaging, training, and preparing for disaster recovery. The operating for the clerk's budget for the clerk's office, including archives, totals $29,425, which is down 15% for last year. Advertising, which is for all township departments, and codification of the township code being the largest line item. Legislation is what drives those 2 line items. Brick Township has 58,875 registered voters in 57 election districts. The operating budget for elections is the printing and mailing of the sample ballots for the primary election, a service that is provided by the county clerk but is billed to the township. The budget request for this election is $12,000. Next is our finance department. The finance department consists of 5 full-time employees, 2 of which are dedicated to payroll. The finance department conducts the following. They create and sign all purchase orders, 4,412 created in 2023, and checks, 3,363 were created in 2023. Create the current, temporary, and adopted and capital fund budgets, post budgets at the beginning of the year, and do all transfers and closeout procedures at year end, creating all pertinent resolutions to process all of these. Agrees receivable to tax reports, ties general ledger appropriations and reserves to budget reports, balances all interfunds, keeps a cash flow analysis monthly, and ties all cash receipts and disbursements in entry Excel books to posted reports. They send out the W-9s and W-2s at year end. They keep a township fixed asset inventory that is added to or deleted from as needed. They create cancellation resolutions for grants. They create Chapter 159s as needed and enters all new grants into Edmunds. At this time, there are 72 grants open, up 14 from 2023. They analyze money in the capital budget to keep track of when a band sale is needed and when needed to roll into bonds, create supplemental debt statements, create cancellation resolutions when needed, inputs capital chargebacks, creates and signs all certificates of availability of funds, and enters all new capital ordinance into Edmunds. At this time, there are 40 open ordinances. They performed 42 bank reconciliations monthly, analyzed 947 open escrow accounts, analyzed 171 electric accounts, 59 water and sewer accounts, 24 natural gas accounts, and 32 telecommunication accounts monthly. All aspects of payroll processing, including implementation payroll into UKG, make aspects to employees' files that will need to be reflected in salary and wages, such as yearly increases, longevities, steps, etc., healthcare contributions, pensions, direct deposit information, court subpoenaed garnishments, etc. The township has a AA3 rating with Moody's. The township's rated its MIG1 rating on its notes, which is short-term financing, which is the highest rating offered by Moody's. In addition, the township maintained its bond rating from Standard & Poor's of a AA. The finance department's salary and wage and operating budget decreased by 9% as a result of staffing changes. Next up is data processing. In 2023, the IT department worked on and completed the following projects. Installed new Hyper-V failover cluster of servers to replace the older cluster. moved and transferred all running virtual service to the new cluster, implemented and trained employees on cybersecurity using the security company and website of KnowBe4 with regular phishing attempt campaigns. Completed wiring for phones, computer, fax, and door access control for the new Brick Senior Services Center and EMS at Aurora Place. We continued upgrading and replacing our old camera recording system at Town Hall and parks, as well as installed additional cameras at Windward Beach, Bayside Park, and the new Brick Senior Service Center and EMS building on Aurora Place. They replaced and deployed over 50 desktop computers, 10 laptops, 20 tablets, and 15 cellular devices, installed a new firewall at the Brick Senior Center, and changed the way this office connects for data and voice, saving the township over $400 a month. They implemented a new help desk ticketing system, which allows users to unlock and or reset their own Windows and email passwords. They fielded 2,428 help desk tickets. For 2024, IT department plans to replace the entire sound system and meeting recording system used in the courtroom. Complete redesign of the township website, continued deployment of additional cameras to Ocean Beach 1 and 3, Pinewood Park, Bayside Manor, Cedar Bridge Manor Park, Drum Point Sports Complex, and Town Hall. Continue replacement of older camera recording service to the new Access camera station. Install multiple cameras in the 4 senior services buses. Install and replace Hyper-V failover cluster service used by the police department. Replace and deploy over 50 new desktop computers and 20 laptops. Replace UPS battery backup systems in the IT department and phone room, which supply power to 90% of all servers and networking equipment. Begin running wire and setting up a network, PCs, phone, Wi-Fi, access control, and security cameras for the new police operations building here at Town Hall. Data processing operating budget increase 6% is a direct result of costs associated with maintenance and support contracts for various equipment and software. Next report covers both tax collector and tax assessor. During 2023, the tax collector's office collected more than $266 million in payments through the office, more than $2.2 million in cash, $124 million in checks, and $139 million in electronic payments. In addition to regular collections, they sent out nearly 10,300 delinquent notices, completed more than 2,700 senior tax freeze applications, handled more than 19,800 phone calls, processed 405,000 in tax appeals, and collected nearly $2,300 in property maintenance fees. Tax collector's 2024 operating budget request is $53,390, which is an increase of $3,750 from the 2023 budget request, which is due to the rising printing costs. The tax assessor's office, with a staff of 5, oversees almost 32,000 residential and 800 commercial properties with a total assessed value of over $10.5 billion. Last year, they placed more than $57 million of added assessment value on our tax list. Part of their responsibilities include not only maintaining a record of specifics about a property, but also monitoring all deed recordings to assure that any change in ownership are made in our public record. Implementing tax map changes, variance report for planning board meetings, and defense of state and county tax appeals are also duties of the tax assessor's office. Brick Township has approximately 2,500 residents receiving senior citizen or veteran property tax deductions, which the assessor's office manages on behalf of the Division of Taxation on a yearly basis. The tax assessor's office also maintains the records, correspondence, approvals, and denials of over 100 exempt properties, in addition to almost 250 disabled veteran exemptions. The tax office experienced a slight decrease, 0.7%, in its operating budget due to mandatory mailing requirements. Now for seniors. The Brick Senior Services Office is staffed with 4 full-time outreach workers, 2 part-time employees, and 1 program director. Their main focus is providing advocacy, information, and assistance applying to various state benefit service programs. Staff conducts in-person evaluations in the office or at someone's home to determine eligibility for these social services programs. Full-time staff are certified state health insurance counselors providing counseling on Medicaid issues. Brick Senior Services moved to its new home on Aurora Place in October of 2023. They also launched a brand new dialysis transportation program and the Community Cafe and Nutrition program. We also began a community lunch program at the Brick Housing Authority with a focus on providing a well-balanced hot meal to our most vulnerable residents living at the Brick Housing Authority complex. This is being funded by a grant through the American Recovery Act. We expect to serve approximately 2,000 meals through this program. In 2024, the parking lot at Aurora Place will be paved and ADA-compliant doors will be installed using Township CDBG funds. The operating budget for seniors decreased 67% as a result of the rental line item no longer needed thanks to their new location on Aurora Place. The last report is for the municipal court. The Brick Municipal Court is the second largest of the 33 municipal courts in Ocean County. Annual filings for 2023 were 10,874, which is a decrease from 2021 of 98 filings. The number consists of filings not only from the Brick Police Department, but also the State Police, Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, Division of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Weights and Measures, Marine Police, Animal Control, Code Enforcement, Zoning, Building, and private citizens for any incidents occurring in the jurisdiction of Brick Township. Court sessions are held every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 and 11 a.m. Currently, the first and third Wednesdays, the second and fourth Thursday, and the second Monday of each month are in-person court sessions. All other court sessions are virtual through the Zoom platform. In addition, we hold an in-person mediation session the second Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. The second Monday, 9:30 a.m. court session is for code enforcement violations only. The current staff consists of the court administrator, 2 deputy court administrators, 4 additional full-time staff members, and 1 part-timer. $21,165 is being requested for their 2023 operating and expense budget. This is a $1,525 increase from last year. This is due to an increase in expert services and anticipated expenses for language interpreters. This concludes my report. Any members of the council or the public that would like to go into more detail on these budgets are welcome to make an appointment with my office. Thank you again for all of your support, and special thanks to the department and division heads who work so well serving the public.
Thank you, Mrs. Bergen. Any questions on the administration budget? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Unfortunately, even with a sore throat, she can talk twice as fast as I can hear. I only have one question. Under the township clerk's office, issued licenses, permits, services, and whatnot, what was the total amount? Did you say 196,000?
Yes, $196,381.07.
Okay.
They also did 1,318 dog and cat licenses, which totaled $25,125.
Last year, that number was 479,000. That's quite a decrease.
Okay, I'll look at it.
I just wondered.
Focus on this year's budget, so I didn't notice that.
It's less than 50% of what it was last year. Is there something going on that we don't know about?
Our municipal clerk would like to address that. Our township clerk would like to address that.
Oh.
It could have been a large ticket item like liquor license sale or.
Right.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay.
But no, it's not. Nothing strange is going on. It's just probably a larger sale of property, or it could have been a larger sale.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Mr. Sluka.
I would have went first, except that I'm too busy writing in order to raise my hand. The primary ballots, which I forget which one that is, primary ballots that go out by the county and then charged to, is that what it is?
Yes,
And charged to the town?
They're mailed by the county clerk, but we pay for the.
And we pay for it?
Yes.
That's
Why
how it
doesn't
works for all the
If it's a
towns.
primary ballot, why don't the political parties pay for it?
It's not how
I don't
elections
decide
work.
who pays
What?
for it. I just.
That's not how elections work. By law, they're required to be sent out on the ballot by the county, billed to each municipality in the
And
in the
each
county.
municipality pays their particular
That's
share,
correct.
whatever it happens to be. I said, it's a political thing. That's a surprise. I've said, wonder why that is. Okay, I had a few questions, but they're all up and downs. What's the total bottom line on that thing in the administration?
So just the administration line item?
Well, the total, yeah, I mean, you went up
Total for
10%
all
with
of
this
these
one.
budgets, there's 11 of them.
Yeah, there's 11 of them,
Right, so the total budget's for all 11?
total, in total. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd have to tally
Look
that
it
up
up.
and get back to you, like,
Oh.
we don't look
because
at
you
them
went
that
up
way.
10% here, 5% down here, 3%, $10,000.
Right,
You know.
it's
So
comparable
it
to
goes
the
up and
size of
down.
the
I was
budget.
wondering what the total was.
So, for example,
Did it go up at
if-
4% like everything else went up by 4%?
If it's a variance of significance, whether it's down or up, I mentioned it in the report.
So if I called during the week, you could tell me if it went up 4% or 5% or whatever it is. in
Yeah,
total,
if-
or went down. And is that compared to the budget of last year or to the actual?
It's the budget. So we looked at what we budgeted
budget to
last
budget.
year, and we looked at what we're budgeting this year.
Not budget to actually spend?
No, but when we do the budget for this year, we
Yeah.
look at what was actually spent, not only last year, but historically over 5 years.
And then-
So we can see what is truly the average that is spent in this line item. We try to keep the operating budget
Right. Yeah, 'cause-
close to what a department would need.
Yeah, it sounded like it was a lot of budget to budget rather than, almost, maybe it wasn't, but maybe I was trying to remember from last year and had it written down, and I'm saying, these numbers are driving me nuts. But it's up and down, it's up and down.
Yeah, 'cause we
I'll
try-
call the office during the
Try to
week
mention
and
the variances so
Yeah.
that we bring to attention to,
to what you're looking at, if there's something specially added, an additional employee or
Right.
whatever happens to be.
Right.
That's not a problem. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and having commented on Chief Forrester's presentation, I believe the only proper thing to do is to comment on the very good presentation given by Ms. Bergen. It was great, but my ears are they're older than Vic Finelli's. So I hear more slowly and barely could write notes down. This presentation should have been part of a special meeting. We have 2 weeks that we don't have council meetings assigned to, as we did when I attended for many years in the beginning of this century. This type of a meeting, which takes time to do it properly, and Joanne did a good job, but that wasn't sufficient for us to be able to grasp or ask sufficient questions to get in-depth answers. I suggest that you consider next meeting that you have like this, that presentations be a special open meeting. And also, does any of you know that in the code of Brick Township, it does mention Robert's Rules of Order? Do any of you know who is this Robert who wrote these rules? I can tell you who, because I've read. I educate myself because I know nobody up on that dais educates me. They don't give me the information I have asked for repeatedly, and I suggest next time a meeting like this, a meeting like what started this meeting having to do with the school, you separate it from this council meeting and do the business you were elected to do. Furthermore, the business you took an oath to do, and you will find the wording for that oath in Robert's Rules of Order. But thank you, Joanne. You do a great job.
Thank you, Mrs. Cole.
Anyone else from public, please? Seeing none, thank you. It's closed public. Thank you, Mrs. Bergen.
You're welcome.
This brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. 4-1.
Authorize cancellation of grant 2022 pump out boat.
Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. That's a tough act to follow, by the way. Well done. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of $8,582.46 in appropriations reserves for the 2022 pump out boat from the County of Ocean for the operation and maintenance of 3 pump out boats, the Bay Saver, Bay Defender, and a 3rd boat coming to us this spring, which service the effluent discharge need of boaters in Brick Township's waters. The pump out boats provide a convenient, inexpensive, and environmentally safe means for boaters to dispose of the effluent waste. In this grant, Brick operates and maintains the pump-out boats, and the county reimburses the township up to $50,000 for costs incurred for the 3 boats. The township is not always able to spend the entire amount, but remains diligent with making the necessary repairs to these boats and in staffing them as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-2.
Authorize receipt of bids, liquid de-icing agent.
Councilwoman Travers, please.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for liquid de-icing agent as needed for salting township roads in icy conditions. The township went out to bid for the purchase and delivery of de-icing agents in February. Bid notices were mailed to 25 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 7 picked up bid packages. No bids were received. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-3.
Authorize rejection of bids, police department special operations garage mechanical HVAC plumbing installation.
Councilman Ambrosino, please.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the rejection of bids for the mechanical, HVAC, and plumbing installation work that is needed at the police department's special operations garage here at Town Hall. Bid notices were mailed to 80 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and only 1 bid was submitted, with prices of $670,000 for the base bid and $805,000 for the base bid plus the alternate. The bids were significantly higher than expected, and we will instead search for vendors available via state contract. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-4, please.
Authorize award of contract, purchase and delivery of janitorial supplies.
Councilman Albanese, please.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes an award of contract for the purchase and delivery of janitorial supplies to the following vendors in accordance with an approved schedule of prices. Central Polybag, Linden. Cooper Friedman Electric Supply, Cranberry. General Linen and Paper Supply, Point Pleasant. Imperial Corp, West Long Branch. And WB Mason, Cranberry.
I think you skipped some.
Imperial Bag and Paper Company, Jersey City. Plastic Express Union. Allen Paper and Supply Company, Dover. Unipac Corp, West Long Branch. And WB Mason, Cranberry. Bid notices were mailed to 46 vendors from the bidders list, and 21 bids requested bid packages. 11 bids were received.
Thank you. 4-5, please.
Authorize award of contract, chemical turf maintenance.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes award of bid for seasonal turf application to True Green Farmingdale. The contract provides for 4 weed control and fertilizer applications per year for approximately 71 total acres per application at 15 locations, including township parks, recreational facilities, and the municipal complex. It begins with an early spring soil test at each location to determine the proper application of each. There is an early and late spring application and an early and late fall application. This is a unit price per bid with a cost per application based on the seasonal treatment not to exceed $70,000 for the 2-year contract period. 38 bidders were notified, of which 10 received bid packages. 1 bid was received from True Green. Thank you.
Thank you. 4-6, please.
Authorize motor vehicle sales license, Shore Auto World LLC.
This resolution authorizes a motor vehicle sale license to Shore Auto World, 459 Brick Boulevard. The application was reviewed by the Brick Township Zoning Officer, Engineering Department, and Fire Bureau. 4-7.
That's the tax collector. 7A, 100% DAV widow or veteran deduction for block 990.01 lot 12. 7B, 100% DAV widow or veteran deduction, block 1192.02 lot 7. 7C is tax exemption for block 1224 lot 636. 7D, tax overpayment for 2022 of block 44.12 lot 2. 7E is a tax overpayment for 2023 at the same location, block 44.12 lot 2. And 7F are tax overpayments for 2024 at block 842 lot 27 and block 1192.02 lot 128.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Open to council? Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the resolutions only, please. Yes, Mr.
Finelli. Quick question, General. Item number 3, who sets the bid expectation range? Like a lot of times I read it was rejected because it was out of the thing. Who comes up with the number?
You do that? So we hire different engineering firms based on what's on our pool, and we have them come up with cost estimates.
So it's usually an engineering firm?
Always an engineering firm.
Always an engineering
Unless we
firm.
do some smaller projects we do in-house, but yes, it's typically an engineering firm.
And only one company bid on this?
Mm-hmm.
I would think there would be more.
Well, we're always disappointed when there's not a little competition, and we were certainly disappointed here because it far exceeded what we had planned on.
Are they that busy out there?
I guess so. It's hard. You know, Captain Drew had to wait several days to get heat on in his office this week.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Questions on the resolutions. Where are they posted in this building? They're supposed to be posted. I know that from years of attending them in this century. Where are they posted in this building in their entirety so that I don't just see block and lot?
Are you asking where the resolutions are posted? The resolutions are posted on our township website. And they're
I
available
really
in my office.
respect your work ethic and how you do it. But somebody has to be in charge, and they were at one time posted across the hall in their entirety. That's incidental. I would rather that they be mailed to me each time there's a meeting. I'll supply, in fact, better that yet, I'll supply you with a USB drive if you tell me which one is appropriate, and I'll pick up the cost for it so you can put things on that USB and return it to me with the information from the meetings. Second of all, you read the consent agenda. If discussion is desired on any item, I think that's what I'm doing right now. This item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. You have never, never, never abided by that. You're supposed to be doing it. In addition to which, I want to know the address for the block and lot. There is no problem if you put both, but you should be doing what the citizens have been asking. One citizen at least has been asking for. This is a public meeting and it is meant to inform the public, and part of informing the public is to let us know about the block and lot, where it is located, how it is more correctly identified by a non-servant of the people. For now, I'll leave it with that. I know I have more, but I'll take that up later. Or in the media, or at another meeting.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to our computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $11,199,457.55.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Open to council. Open to public for questions on the bill resolutions. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,974,610.02.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Yes, ma'am.
Wait.
Dan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. I've been attending these meetings, and I had somebody sit next to me once who wanted to know, did you rewrite the manual every 2 weeks? See, that's an example of not informing or educating the public. I know what it means. But this, and it wasn't a terribly young person, middle-aged, thought the word manual meant a user guide, as it can to me. It means labor also, manual labor, but in this case, it is, I understand what it is, but you need to tell everybody it is not a rewrite of a thick manual that might consist of several thousand pages.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to ordinance on first reading, and there's no public hearing on first readings. 5-1, please.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code in Section 288-52 to add locations for the police department to enforce motor vehicle regulations on private property.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman, please.
Thank you, Council President. Most statutes that pertain to motor vehicle laws and the Motor Vehicle Commission are in Title 39 of the New Jersey State's annotated. When property located outside of a public right-of-way wants to enforce the provisions of Title 39, an application is made to the township to include the property in the Township Code, Section 288-52, Schedule 22. This gives the police the ability to enforce motor vehicle rules and regulations on private property. The sites in this ordinance have applied to the township for inclusion in our private property enforcement areas. These sites have all been inspected by the Division of Engineering to ensure that traffic signs and markings are properly installed in accordance with the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. It is important to note that while the police will have the ability to enforce motor vehicle regulations, the township will have no liability or obligation with respect to site maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feinman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
5-2, please. Ordinance on first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick in Chapter 86 entitled Alcoholic Beverages to authorize the issuance of a nonprofit theater consumption license.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. The state authorized the issuance of plenary retail consumption license without regard to the usual population limits to a nonprofit corporation that regularly operates as an art house, movie, theater, or conducts musical or theatrical performances or concerts for which admission is charged. This type of specialized license is known as the theater license. The bill amending the law was adopted in June 2023. But the amendment only extended to the theater license to include art house movie theaters. The theater license has been applicable to nonprofit theaters that conduct musical or theater performances for years. Under the current law, to be eligible for a theater license, a theater must be operated by a 501c3 nonprofit organization, have regular seating capacity of at least 50 seats, and regularly conduct musical or theatrical performance, or under the new law, show art house movies. If the theater qualifies under the foregoing, then it is eligible for the issuance of a theater license by the municipality, subject to the following conditions. Alcohol may be served for the 2 hours immediately preceding a show, during a show, including intermission, and in the 2-hour period immediately following a show. For theaters with capacities of 50 to 999 seats, alcoholic beverages may only be served during the 2 hours following a performance, no more than 15 times per year. The applicant must also comply with the usual requirements such as background checks for the principals of the nonprofit. This ordinance establishes the authorization to issue nonprofit theater license at a cost of $250. Thank you.
Thank you. And a motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to 6-1, ordinance on second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 225 to establish requirements and fees applicable to lead paint inspections for rental properties in accordance with Public Law 2021, Chapter 182.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrosino.
Thank you, Council President. This ordinance is actually needed in response to the state's new lead-based paint law. That's NJAC 528A. That ordinance implements lead paint inspections in brick, which will be completed by Township code enforcement officials during the rental certificate of occupancy process. The regulations apply to single-family rental properties only. Once a unit is certified lead-free, the Township still has to go back after 2 years in the event of chipping or peeling. Property owners have the right to get a more detailed lead-free certification at their cost. Short-term rentals have to be inspected by July of 2024, and then at the change of tenancy or 2 years. The state does an inspection every 5 years for multifamily dwellings. The Township applied for and received a grant to purchase testing materials and to send staff for training. The lead-based paint testing will be part of the rental checklist going forward. The rate set for inspections is $25, plus an additional $20 per unit inspected for deposit into the Lead Hazard Control Assistance Fund established pursuant to state law. Reinspection will cost $50, plus an additional $20 per unit inspected for deposit into that same Lead Hazard Control Assistance Fund established pursuant to state law. The $20 surcharge does not apply where the unit owner demonstrates that the DCA has already assessed such a surcharge. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public. Yes, Ms. Cole.
And call 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. I've had many people think that I was a teacher in a previous life. Truth is, the only teaching I did was when I was still in Brooklyn and educated a first communicant, 2 of them, on the CCD for that. And they were very happy with me. 2 wonderful 7-year-olds who had learning disabilities, each one of them different. But they would go home and tell their mother how much they loved me. And now, number 1, ordinance on first reading. The only thing is, it is not mandatory to allow resident input. Many times, in fact, every single meeting when Joe Scarpelli was the mayor, there was question and answer on it. It was done at the caucus meeting held the week before, the open meeting as it was framed. And you should be giving us a heck of a lot more information than just a 1-sentence subject. I'd like to know, on this, did you follow the science? Did you check what the people who wrote this into the state law, and now you want to put it into Brick Township, what was the science about changing or adding to the requirements on lead point inspections? I know for a fact, and people in this township, many of you would remember POAC, Parents of Autistic Children. I'm not sure, I don't get to read everything I'd like, and I'm not sure if she was used to write to the publication that was replaced by Shorebeat, which is a Danny Nee product, and he does an excellent job. But previous, there would be a lot of information about autistic children. Some of what John Sluka talks about, I wonder these days, could it be that there is also a problem of lead paint in this township? It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, well, what about some of those students who get shipped out of the township and have to be driven back in a school bus from a motel in a different township to attend school? You don't know the half of what you don't know. And when you don't know something, you're not prepared to even vote on it. So what input did you get that justified these changes that are being enacted? And I don't know who read the information, but what was that NJ number?
NJSA, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, 5:28A.
My pen is running out. I hope it's not an indication that I am too. SA NJ AC 5:28A. Anybody who's watching this on a telecommunication device, if you want to know about that, come to the next meeting and ask these learned people to explain what that is, where you find it, how you get to it. It's as big as the law of the land without without redactions of anything. I've read it. I read it a long time ago. I know how to go to. In fact, I signed up for a GAN law book that has access to that. So did anybody do their homework to see if this is justified, whether you really want to vote for it or want to amend it and add something more? That's your job. And you're supposed to be public servants, and I'm the public. I'm one of it. I'm collectively all of it. And I want answers from you on all of these things. Show me that you're educated or informed, at least, if not educated.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Yes, Mr. Sluka.
No, he didn't.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court, mainly because I missed it or I didn't understand it. June of this year, you have to do a reinspection on this thing? Is that, or an inspection on the lead paints?
Mr. Keneally could speak to
What
it
was
then.
that?
He researched the law.
What?
If
You said it.
Mr. Sluka, if I can address your comments as well as Ms. Cole's. The state adopted a law in 2022. It gave municipalities 2 years to adopt an ordinance, so we're adopting the ordinance. The state law mandates that as of June of this year, municipalities must inspect certain properties for lead paint. The state determined that lead paint is associated with developmental conditions for children. So the state determined that we have to, out of that educational and societal concern, inspect for lead paint hazards in rental properties. This ordinance is adopted in compliance with and based upon the state statute. It's in Title 52 of the New Jersey Statutes Annotated and Title 5:28 of the Administrative Code. The ordinance is basically directed by the state how to do it. In terms of what properties are going to be inspected, you're dealing with rental properties constructed prior to 1978 because lead paint was banned in 1978. So houses built today don't have lead paint, but homes older than 1978 do. And the concern is chipping or peeling of paint, and if that's a rental unit. Multifamily housing, such as a large apartment building or a large multi-unit, has already been inspected for lead paint by the state because they do their inspections, not the town. The concern that the state wanted us to address is single or two-family homes that are not subject to the multifamily DCA inspections, so they're otherwise escaping a lead-based paint inspection. We currently inspect rental COs when someone comes in to rent a property. The town goes out and checks to make sure that it's safe for rental purposes. But if someone rents a unit for multiple years, we don't, they come in on a rental CO upon someone renting it, and then we might not inspect it again until it's re-rented. This law mandates that by this year, by June of this year, we conduct an initial inspection on those houses that fit within it. There may not actually be that many within Brick that meet the criteria of a single or two-family home constructed prior to 1978 that's a rental, but that's what we're addressing. Those homes will be addressed, be inspected this year, and then they have to be inspected every few years, re-inspected. They also have to be re-inspected on a change in tenancy. So either or, change in tenancy or several years later, they get re-inspected. If they fail, they have to conduct lead paint abatement. If they pass, then we'll just re-inspect them. The fee is a nominal fee. It's
the fee's
$25.
not, it's small.
And we're collecting a $20 fee that we're actually turning over to the state that goes into a lead paint abatement process. If they fail and we have to re-inspect them, say a month later, we charge them $50.
It's still cheap, yeah.
So I think, I think that addresses.
I think so too. I just wanted to make sure. So if a rental was, somebody lived in a house and 10 years ago they did inspection or whatever they did, and now they rent it, does that have to fall into the June something deadline?
So if that house is a current tenant in it, but it meets the criteria, then we're going to go, it's going to be inspected for lead paint.
Okay.
And the process is Brick.
It's not going to be waiting till the next tenant comes in then.
No, and then
So
it'll
it's gonna-
be every.
And then it's June every 2 years then after that.
Or change in tenancy,
Right.
whichever. sooner.
Or earlier, right, at least every 2 years.
And the
Okay,
ordinance, in terms of the drafting, was considered by the Land Use Committee in consultation with Dan Newman, who is the building inspector, who is in charge of these
All right.
inspections. This is really his.
and Dan is the one that's going to have to find out which houses and which ones are being rented and da-da-da-da-da.
We have all of that in our
Yeah.
software.
The
Yeah,
ordinance
so
is
there we
also
go.
crafted, there's two criteria. It's based on what level of lead paint is found in children's blood tests. And Brick is in the lower tier, which is good news for the residents of Brick. There are other municipalities in Ocean
That
County
are-
that are actually in the higher tier.
Oh.
So this inspection provides for just a visual inspection,
Right.
but other towns have to do a swipe.
I know sometimes
sampling.
places in Lakewood and down in Atlantic City were
So
high.
we
at one
drafted the
point.
ordinance that in the event the town's blood test results ever changed, it's already in the ordinance that if we had to go to a swipe test system, it's in the system.
You can change it later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Finone.
Just a question on what I think I heard you say. If you inspect some property for lead paint and you don't find any, why would you have to re-inspect it several years later if it changes hands?
The state requires it. So if it's a criteria pre-78 rental property, they're gonna require it to be re-inspected.
Why?
It's built into the ordinance. Now, what you can do, if you are a criteria property that has that, you can get a certification from a qualified inspection company that you could provide to the town and would take you out of this. There's an exemption for that. There's also a process if you've done lead paint abatement, where you've gone in and gutted it. You have an older structure that's been gutted and renovated and lead paint is removed and you certify to that, again, you can be, even though you meet the pre-78 criteria, you can be taken out of this by supplying the appropriate certification, so you don't have to go through that. There's also a process for landlords to obtain their own certifications and in lieu of doing that, not have to have the town inspect.
Somebody ought to tell them that doesn't make a damn bit of sense. If you inspect the property and there's no lead paint there, somebody would have to get paint that's 50 years old to put it back in there. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, you paint over paint.
Yeah.
So they don't know what's your base coat. So as paint starts chipping and peeling, especially if you have a tenant there that's a long time, you could get to the surface of when there was lead paint. So that's why they make us go back.
Oh. Okay.
You spoke already on this matter, Ms. Cole. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else from public?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Thank you. Close public. Roll call.
Ooh. Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Feynman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Travers.
Yes.
Vice President Ambrosino.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public? Yes, Ms. Cole.
Ann Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Lead paint, cocaine, both of them are not allowed in Brick. Do you think nobody gets cocaine, finds a place for it, and uses it in Brick Township? You're as foolish as I was when I was a 16-year-old high school student. I've learned, and I start when I meet people in believing them to be honest people. Not 100% perfect, but honest in what they believe until they prove to me that they are dishonest, that they don't bother to inform themselves about the law. Therefore, they break the law. Maybe they think that illegal is the wrong terminology. Well, every legal document refers to somebody who comes into our state, our county, our town, without following the proper process and presenting documentation when necessary, is an illegal alien, immigrant, whatever term you want to use. That's the fact of the law. As far as the lead paint, you don't think that somebody goes to a third world country and brings back paint and uses it? You don't think that they smuggle it in and use it? You don't think that they get a buy on a really old paint that has it? We don't know what's in our food, never mind the paint. And it is not a big deal if every 5 years somebody verifies. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out if it's just verifying that they have not in the past 5 years used lead paint or any part of it. Some of us might have used it without knowing we were using it. So that's that. The Councilwoman Ponterero is absent. Did you make any comment about her absence?
We took a roll call.
The way you're supposed to do it, according to Robert's Rules of Order, is if she has notified you ahead of time that she will not be attending, is to put on it that she will be absent or excused. But of course, you haven't read anything to do with Robert's Rules of Order, even though I supplied the council president of years past with 2 books one bigger than the other, on Robert's Rules of Order. Does anybody know who this Robert is? Oh, so then you don't know that Robert was the last name of a man who was at West Point, and military discipline demanded that the attendees, no matter what level they were, follow certain rules. He is the author of Robert's Rules of Order. It's been amended many, many times, but it is this Mr. Roberts, not the movie Roberts, that codified it in West Point and has been adopted by many. And I have taken several courses on it from a licensed parliamentarian through an organization known as the National Association of Active and Retired Federal Employees, which led to the president of one of those chapters requesting I be the chapter, be the parliamentarian for the New Jersey chapters Federation of North. I do read it. I like to learn things. I have since I was a young girl. I even studied chemistry as an elective in high school, and I mean studied. I didn't study geography and history all that well, but I did study my chemistry. You understand you are public servants? Do you understand that? Legally, terminology? You're supposed to serve us, the public. You're not supposed to impose your will on us. And to that end, please tell me what kind of USB ports I can supply out of my pocket that you will give me a copy of all these videos, because it has been noted by more than one person that frequently something happens to the recording of these meetings in the middle at a very important part for us. So I want a copy of it as recorded. And just let me know, and I'll supply the USB-Cs or whatever you want. I'll bring them into you, and then you can give them back to me. You can put more than one on a flash drive or whatever drive. Well, I have means for some other drives, but flash drives are the best, because then I can bring it places.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gold.
I suggest you start introspecting and seeing you're not serving us, and you better get out of the position.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Mr. Sluka.
Getting up too many times, I'm gonna make this meeting longer than it needs to be. But I gotta read my letter. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court, dated March 7th. Dear Mayor Craig, Council President Vincent Manicino, all councilmen, councilwomen, as well as the residents, students, workers of Brick and Ocean County. Once again, I stand before you, the mayor, the council, and in fact, all of Brick Township and Ocean County, to state what I've been telling you for many, many years. Before Superstorm Sandy even struck the shore area, the people of the area were feeling the impact of a catastrophic event. That event was the destruction of the environment around the Garden State Parkway. People of the area have been harmed ever since by the toxins flowing off the Garden State Parkway, without regard for the seniors, workers, and the youth of the area. And the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners basically are destroying their lives. The commissioners destroyed the environment near and on the Garden State Parkway. The citizens in Brick and Ocean County continue to be harmed by the toxins, the noise, and the various dangers surrounding the Garden State Parkway. Vast walls and increased foliage are needed on the Garden State Parkway around the Evergreen Woods condo area, Brick High School, Primrose Garden, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Birchwood Park. Air pollution is harmful to everyone. The National Institute of Environmental Science states air pollution is a human carcinogen. Thousands of studies have been carried out, and the results of those many studies and many studies have been brought before this council and past councils, but in fact, nothing's truly done over the years. I guess the fun of grand openings, road construction projects, honorariums take priority over the lives of the citizens, but almost know the inaction is not a solution. The people of Evergreen Woods, Brick High, Lanes Mill School, Greenbrier, 1 and 2, Briar Mill, Birchwood, Cherrywood, the library, and this town hall, all of which have been suffering for years without being able to see what's causing the problem. Roadway noises and the toxins are killing our citizens. They need you to act. Thanks for your time. I yield back 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Can I have this?
Absolutely not.
Bummer. This is the part where I try to share some information with you, okay? Number one, see, Title IX is working. And you haven't recognized the girls' bowling team yet, which I think won 4 years in a row. Right? Since S1 came out and the school got the budget cut, if you watch the school board meetings, I'm constantly telling them, stop expecting more money, you're not gonna get it. And the reason you're not gonna get it is because the governor doesn't like Ocean County and he doesn't like brick. The governor came out with his budget and he increased school funding by $900 million. Significant amount of money. Unfortunately, $100 million went to the Newark School District, which is his buddies up north. Even I didn't think, I knew they weren't going to get any more money, but I didn't think they were going to cut this budget again. But they did. Only $112,000. Certainly not as bad as Jackson. Jackson got cut like 14%. I don't know what else you can do about it. I don't know what they can do about it. The cap thing is the cap thing, and I don't think if they could raise the cap thing, they would do it anyway because they probably all lose their jobs, but they don't love us. and that's what it is. And it's going to continue to, I don't know, raise taxes 2% every year. That's the school side, what you do over here. And you know what? It's really not going to fall on people like me. The governor keeps saying that he's doing all these things to help the working middle class. Says it all the time. Well, if your taxes go up, they're going up. If you don't qualify for senior freeze or you don't qualify for the anchor program, your taxes are going up. This year, they finally increased the amount of the senior freeze all the way up to $150,000. And next year it goes up to $163,000. So if that doesn't get changed at budget time, all the seniors like me are going to be smiling. You're not. That's all I have to share. Thank you for all the presentations, and if you get me a copy, appreciate it, or I can pick it up next time. And I don't see a lot of smiling faces up there tonight. Smiles. The sun was out today. We had no rain. It was 60 degrees, right? I don't think we spent a lot of money on snow this year, right? A little bit of brine on the roads, so you're smiling, I know, but I can't see it.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Mr. Bacon.
Meeting is never gonna end. This meeting is never gonna end.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. Charlie Bacon, 366 Rancocas Drive. I have a quick question, if you don't mind, Council President, to ask Ms. Bergen. A couple of meetings ago, we talked about the Popeyes and being held up going into Wawa complex. Ms. Bergen was nice enough. I saw her at a grant meeting. Thank you. She filled me in a little bit about it. And I just wanted to follow up if there's any update on it, because I think that application was approved with condition, I think, around December of 22. And then I saw some articles in the press about that after we spoke. You know, that intersection there at Jack Martin, 88, is very dangerous. And I think at the time I saw at least 11 accidents where people got injured. So it's a little bit more than holding up the application of Popeyes. That was a controversial Wawa application. Many people came out, talked about that intersection, the heavy traffic that was probably going to come as a result of Wawa. But I just want to do a little follow-up, if it's okay with the council president. Has there been any update, Ms. Bergen, about it?
So, thank you, Mr. Bacon. So the NJDOT has indicated that they feel that the no left turn signs are covered by the board's decision to allow them to install them at the time the Popeyes is built. So we reached out to our board counsel and asked him to reach out to the developers council to say, to us, it's unacceptable to wait that long. The DOT won't back us on that because they feel that they're saying they're going to do it at their timeline. But those discussions are underway and they're hopeful. But we have told them we're just going to go out and install them if you don't do this. But we would prefer they did it in accordance with the site plan, where they should be put and how many feet back. It's something that would be better for the developer to do. So those discussions are underway, but we looped in the NJDOT and the developer and our attorney, and I hope to have resolution soon. But of course, the developer has to agree that he's going to do this.
Are you talking to developer, I think it's a JSM?
Correct.
Yes. Okay, because he's going to have to make a physical change to the entrance.
He is, that's the challenge.
To block that left turn.
Yes, that's the
going
challenge.
eastbound.
So it's not as simple as the signs.
No,
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of thought they'd have to do that to prevent that turn.
You are correct.
Well, hopefully there's going to be some headway, because that's a bad intersection. And I know we want to get the development going in there, because obviously Wawa, when it came in, there were several things that were potentially going to be earmarked for that. So thank you on that. One other small thing, it's a bad time to bring it up because we had pretty high winds in Brick, obviously. But it's been on my mind about our recycling cans. Because at my age, I know I need exercise, but I don't really want to run down the street and pick up all my recycling. So what I find is I don't know the specs of our trash cans versus the recycling cans. But it seems like even if we get a little wind, the top will pop open. And the problem with that is, in garbage, we have a bag. We're not allowed to put bags in our, because of what it'll do to the machinery. So as we're replacing these, we might want to consider specification changes to maybe make them a little heavier or to keep the lids down. Okay. And I don't want to use the latest wind, but believe me, you get a 20-mile-an-hour wind, there's a lot of recycling running around the town. So it's something that might want to consider as we replace these things. And thank you for your presentation, greatly appreciate it. And thank you, Mayor and Council. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public, please? Seeing none, close public.
I have absolutely nothing else to say tonight. Thank you, though.
Are you sure?
What? Oh, no.
Mayor Craig.
Thank you. So last week was Read Across America Week throughout the nation, and we celebrated that here in Brick Township. And while I know the prospect for some people of sitting in front of 25 3-year-olds reading a book may leave them terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought. I find it to be a lot of fun, and I had a great time. So I do want to thank our township preschools and their teachers and students, the teachers and students of Herbertsville Elementary, which is actually a preschool as well, Warren Wolf, which is also preschool, and I had the opportunity to visit Osborneville as well. It was a lot of fun reading to those guys. It brings me back to my roots as a teacher, and I genuinely enjoyed it and look forward to going back and visiting them again at some point before the end of the school year. On March 7th, I had the opportunity to visit Anne Marie Caruth in Greenbrier 2. She was celebrating her 100th birthday, and you know, that's not something you see every day. So it was really exciting for me to be there and celebrate with her. And she had so many friends and family there. Not only were her friends and family there in her home with her, but she also had people who were on Skype or whatever people are using today for a whole bunch of people, Google Meet. And she was, when I walked in the door, she was FaceTiming with her granddaughter who lives in New Zealand. So she had a really nice turnout. So March 7th was Anne Marie Caruth Day, and I was very excited to celebrate with her. If you have a family member that is reaching a nice large milestone, feel free to reach out to my office. We love to come out and celebrate those things with our community. So please do that. I want to congratulate our two newest sergeants. We had swearing-ins 2 weeks ago now for our new Sergeant Koch and Zalisi. I just want to congratulate them. And I want to tell people that 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity with our business administrator to attend a meeting with our Barrier Island mayors. That's something that we do a few times a year. We meet, but now we are getting together to really work to see how we can collaboratively come together to solve some of the flooding issues that all of us are dealing with, not only during storms, but during high tides, during wind events that that's essentially blowing the bay right back into our streets. So this is an issue with the bay, and it's an issue with all of the Barrier Island mayors. So we are looking forward to coming together to see how we can figure this out. I love the plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. So I say, let's do it. And I look forward to reporting back to everyone once we get something going. We had some ribbon cuttings. Here Again USA is at 990 Cedar Bridge Avenue. If you have a hearing issue, thank you. Please make sure you visit them. They're also part of our chamber, so we were happy to be a part of that grand opening. I feel like if you haven't been to Lobodi's yet, where have you been? But please stop by. This is their flagship store. It's amazing. We had a wonderful grand opening last Thursday. It was fabulous, and we're so excited to see that entire storefront coming back to life over there off of Route 88. So also on Route 88, if you have time, on Friday the 15th, C28 Bistro at 10 a.m., located at 2140 Highway 88, is going to officially be having their official grand opening. I believe they're open for breakfast, lunch, and like an early dinner. So, you know, I welcome you to join us for that ribbon cutting as well. I want to thank Brandywine Living at Reflections. They invited me out on Friday for National Women's Day to participate in a women's panel. It was really wonderful to visit with the residents there. They had questions. We had great discussions, and we actually brainstormed some ideas for how we can bring some of the students from our two high schools in to work with those residents as well. So we're looking forward to continuing going back to Brandywine and other assisted living facilities throughout Brick Township. And finally, I just wanted to thank one of my administrative staff, Brandy White, along with my Mayor's Student Advisory. Last Friday was our Brick Hero Awards. I think it was our best one yet. We celebrated so many heroes throughout the township, and it was really nice this year. We had specific categories, and we honored people who teach in our schools. We honored people who keep us safe. We honored businesses throughout town who work really hand in hand with the community to make sure that they are present and helpful in so many ways. We had some EMS people, and I'm trying to remember all the people that we honored. We had our crossing guard who basically put herself in front of a car to protect our students over in front of midstreams, and so much more. And I just want to say the student advisory, the students from Brick Township and Brick Memorial are the students who work with Brandy to plan that event, host the event. They emceed the event. It was all on them. And aside from from the student advisory, we also had students who performed for all the people in the audience. So we had people who are doing the class plays that are coming up, drama. The drama club came out for each of the buildings. I believe that Matilda is going to be at Brick Memorial and Shrek will be at Brick Township in the spring. So if you want to see a great play, those are two great plays for you to see. I'm sure I'll have more info on them, along with the chorus groups that came out from both buildings. So thank you to everyone that came out. Thank you to everyone who participated. I have a couple of groups coming in to do some great conversations with me because I was completely intrigued by groups that I didn't realize existed. So look for those as well. And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Mr. Keneally. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Thank you. Councilman Albanese.
Yeah, the presentations were amazing, especially Ms. Bergen's with a sore throat. I want to congratulate the Brick Memorial soccer team and the coach, head coach Billy Caruso, and the two gentlemen that he was with was John Prand and Gunther Olbrook. They're members of the 1984 state championship team. I coached here with Brick with big guy John Pranny at Old Brick, but I think it's worth mentioning. Those guys love soccer. They love Bricktown, no matter what side of town they're from, and they're the hardest working team in the shore, probably the state. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. I also want to congratulate the Brick Memorial girls soccer team. Great job. And thank you to Mrs. Bergen, of course, Chief Riccio and Chief Forrester, always enthralling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Feynman.
Thank you, Council President. I did originally prepare a beautiful, eloquent, super long speech, so I'm going to forego that because it's getting late.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just kind of go off the hip here, but I just wanted to recognize and thank the three presenters. Chief Riccio, thank you so much for everything that you do. Chief Forrester and of course Ms. Bergen. I've never known another business administrator, but you do such a phenomenal job. It's an honor and a pleasure. I don't need to. Really above and beyond for all three, but truly thank you for everything that you do. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Travers.
Thank you. I appreciate the Forrest reference.
Oh. It doesn't, I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
I also just wanted to congratulate the Brick Memorial High School girls soccer team and also thank you for all the budget presentations and Joanne. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council Vice President Ambrosini.
Thank you, Council President. I'd also like to congratulate the girls soccer team. My many thanks and appreciation to the department heads that gave their budget presentations tonight. I think it's very easy to hear these presentations and think about the numbers and the cost. That's important. They do a phenomenal job of controlling those components. But what's really impressive is the amount that you do year in and year out with the limited resources that we have in town. You're keeping our town running very, very well.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Worth coming in with COVID. Totally worth it.
So me, I just want to make the announcement. The next meeting is March 25th, 7 o'clock. Can I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Motion adjourned.